Hi everyone, and thanks to SparkLabs Cultiv8 for the incredible opportunity that we've got for being here today. My name is Simone O'Sullivan, and I'm CEO of AusBioEnergy. I would like to start off with just talking to you about our first target market and just to set the scene. Shipping is responsible for 90% of our global merchandise trade. Pretty much everything you see in this room's been in a ship. And it accounts for more than the aviation industry as far as emissions. The aviation industry has had a lot of spotlight on it in the last 6 months, or last 6 years. And now it's shipping's turn. So just in the last few months, the International Maritime Organization has mandated that every ship have an energy efficiency rating attached to it, which means there's a lot more transparency. It's also increased its energy targets, its efficiency targets, and its emission targets. The other thing that's happening is that the EU is including shipping in its emissions trading scheme in 2024. So there's now a huge cost attached to it as well. And not only that, there is a competitive issue in the shipping industry because every multinational is looking for their green logistics solutions. So we now have an issue where we have cost, oversight, transparency, and we also have a competitive issue with this. So how do we solve this problem? Well, the only way you can really solve it is through the change in fuel source for your ships. There are a few options, as you can see, but green methanol is now becoming the fuel of choice because it has the lowest carbon content of any of the fuels, but it's also a commodity that's been globally traded for many years. People know how to move methanol around. So what is green methanol? It's exactly the same chemical product as you see in the normal methanol that we know today. However, it's made with plants that absorb the carbon from the air rather than coal and gas. So how do we know that green methanol is the fastest growing methanol or shipping fuel? Because we just look at the order books for ships. Globally, there were 37 ships ordered in 2023 that were fuel ready for methanol. Now, just in the first 6 months of this year, there's 82 of them, and it is the fastest ship type growing in the world. So that's the demand. Now we're looking at the supply factors. So Bloomberg recently forecast that the green methanol production would increase tenfold by 2027, and that sounds like a lot. But by 2050, we're going to need 100 times that amount. And that's only for shipping. When you look at all of the other needs for methanol, especially in the chemical industry, you need it for solvents and glues and resins. It underpins a lot of our products today. And they're all going to be looking for green methanol. So how do you solve this problem? We have an enormous demand. We have not a huge amount of supply just yet. You need to have a hugely deep understanding of the technology solutions and what's available out there. You need to have a huge understanding of the supply chain and the feedstocks that are required to be able to produce this stuff. And you also need to have a commercial and sustainability framework that underpins all of this. And that's where AusBioEnergy comes in. I'm one of 3 co-founders. My co-founder's Kevin. Kevin's a chemical engineer, and he's been around in the chemical industry for 40 years. He really gets this stuff. Rowan has been in the agricultural industry now for more than 40 years, and he also has incredibly close ties with the communities that we're working with. And myself, well, I've been in the commercial and sustainability world for many years, long before it was thought to be a cool place to be. And together with our first funder, who is a global heavyweight in the renewables industry, we are building an enormous opportunity to take advantage of what Australia can provide us. So, how many green methanol plants have we got in Australia? None. We do not have a single green methanol plant in this country yet. It's extraordinary to think that we're not taking advantage of this opportunity. So we are going to use biomass that's going to be grown and sourced from a range of innovative sources. We have an agreement with the University of Sydney for an incredibly interesting plant that we have exclusive plant breeding rights to. And we're going to be able to build that into a green methanol plant in partnership with our technology providers. And the kicker is that we also can do this cost effectively. We've done an enormous amount of technical due diligence. And what we're doing, and I won't get into the chemical sort of underpinnings, but we're going to reduce the amount of green hydrogen that's required to be able to produce green methanol. And that will mean we have lower water needs, lower power needs, and we'll also be able to reduce our logistics costs. So we think that we're going to be very cost competitive in being able to do this as well. So it's a super exciting time to be around and doing this. So we have a sustainable biomass crop that I mentioned from the University of Sydney. That has a lot of unique aspects to it, and that's just one of our opportunities for increasing and scaling up our biomass. And scaling up is very much in our plans. So we're looking at biomethanol right now, but we have got another 10 locations that we're looking at in regional Australia. The opportunity is huge. We have an international growth plan, and we're going to be moving out into sustainable aviation fuel and biodiesel. So we've got a whole different product range that we're also already moving to. AusBioEnergy, in its next phase, is looking for a full feasibility study that will be able to provide us with a detailed costing that we can then take out to our off-takers. And it will also prove to us what we already know, that AusBioEnergy has a cost-effective, scalable, sustainable opportunity to produce biomass, biofuels en masse. So we're looking forward to speaking to any of you who are in the investment sector, in the agricultural sector, who are interested in looking at new crops, but also in the government sector, because we need to see government supporting this in policy, in funding. This is a huge opportunity for us all, and we're super excited to be part of it. So thank you very much.